Entrepreneurs, get counted today. Start Out, a San Francisco-based nonprofit, and SoCoast Labs recently announced their Inclusion Impact Indexes survey, focused on all U.S.-based entrepreneurs. The Diversity and Inclusion Survey measures entrepreneurs' economic impact in terms of job creation, patents, financing, and exits. If you've started a company in the U.S., get counted in this confidential survey. In-depth data findings are available for free online. Visit inclusionindexes.org.
Hello, everyone. It's Colleen Blake and Eric Quick, and welcome to Bathtime to Boardroom, where we bring you these stories of working parents or parents-to-be and how they now blend work and life and all the challenges that come with it. It's season 4, and that means it's all about moms taking over. So today we have a guest co-host. This is right out of our Moms Takeover episode. This is Eric losing his seat to his wife, Nina Quick, an autism advocate and mom extraordinaire. Yay! And dear friend, we are fortunate to have both Nina and Molly with us this week.
Hello, hello. This is Nina. I'm loving this Moms Takeover. This is so much fun. So today we are talking with Molly Brooks, a full-time human resource professional and mom of 2 daughters, Kaelie and Lucy. Did I say Kaelie's name right? Oh, good.
Yes.
Currently, Molly is working as Senior HR Operations for OmniTrax, a fleet management platform with offices in San Diego. Are you in San Diego, Molly, right now?
I am.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Molly has held various HR roles, including roles with Carl Strauss Breweries and Stone Brewing. I think there's a theme here. Beer and HR, they go hand in hand. Sounds like we have some stories to share. They do say that HR is the worst offender. Woo woo. Welcome, Molly. All right.
Woohoo. All right.
You.
So Molly, welcome. We'd love to get right into it. We're going to start with the bath time first. Let's just kind of go back in time a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience growing up and what things you learned from your parents growing up?
Sure. I grew up in a little suburban town in Ventura County called Camarillo. And, my mom and dad were married until my dad passed away. So I lived in a very tight family bubble. It was my mom, my dad, my sister and brother, and I. All of our extended family was out in Texas, so we were really a very tight-knit family. And it was really just the 5 of us kind of growing up. I was the baby of the family, so I learned how to be tormented by my older brother. I learned how to be challenged by my older sister and how to rise above sometimes, and sometimes take the low road, which I'm not too proud of.
I think that's allowed when you're the littlest.
Yeah, I think I learned from my parents most, though, that, the strength of family and the importance of family and kind of sticking with each other. And those bonds are so strong. My mom taught me unconditional love, no matter what, she was always going to be there for us. And that's kind of what I'm trying to teach my children today.
That's amazing. I can't even imagine how hard that must have been too, losing your dad. So I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad that you had a strong family unit. And I know a little bit about Camarillo. It is a great town to grow up in. I feel like the community there, I hope they embraced you guys that way too. Would you feel that? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, retrospectively, and especially in light of what's been going on politically lately, I realized it was a very white, privileged little suburban town. So growing up, I think I was very sheltered, and it wasn't really till I moved to San Diego that I really kind of was exposed to cultures and other colors of skin, to be very honest.
Right. So what do you wish you knew about having kids before you had kids? Is there anything?
Oh my gosh, how hard it would be. Nobody says how hard it's going to be. They talk about how much love you're going to get, and it is so much love, and how rewarding it is, and it is so rewarding. And those moments when they come in and they snuggle with you on Saturday morning and you just don't want to get out of bed all day.
Right.
I love those moments. But man, they don't talk about how at 8:00, you're really ready to drop kick them out the window because you cannot nag them anymore.
How old are they? How old are Kaelie and Lucy?
So Kaelie's 10 and Lucy's just about to turn 5.
she's still little. I miss the littles because, we've got almost 13 and 11 and I'm living the dream. So yes, I agree with you. It is hard. Can you tell us more about your daughters? Like
Sure.
maybe their personalities?
Gosh. I could go on and on about them all day, I think. Kaelie is kind of very introverted. She's very slow to warm to people. She's incredibly intelligent. I mean, beyond the charts intelligent. In fact, she's in like a program for very intelligent children. And she's off the charts. I don't know where she gets that from. Obviously, her dad's side of the family. And then I guess, but she's the very creative one. She's very intelligent. She's very soft-spoken. But man, if she's mad, she will, just like a Scorpio, right? She's a Scorpio, and that tail comes and gets you.
Yes.
Lucy, I think is, I'm not that big into astrology, but to me, Lucy is the typical Gemini, and she is a Gemini. She has her happy-go-lucky, loving the world, everything's wonderful, and then she like split second later, like turn her face, and she is just a monster. So she's funny, but she's the athletic, outgoing. She reminds me a lot of my sister and I too. So my sister growing up was very introverted and shy, and she would always, hey, Molly, go ask this person that. Hey, Molly, go ask where the bathroom is. Hey, Molly, go order our food. She would always make me go talk to everybody. Similarly, Kaylie's doing that with Lucy. So Lucy is very outgoing and is willing to talk to anybody.
That is going to take her far in life for sure.
They both have leadership personalities for sure. And I do know where they got that from.
They don't fall far. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. No. That's great. That's great. Have they said something funny that you could share with us that you could think of?
Oh gosh. The other day, I said something. I wanted to hang out with Kaelie. I said something like, hey, Kaelie, let's go for a bike ride. You have these rare opportunities throughout the day where you have a break between meetings and you don't have any emails and you don't have any projects. And you like, oh my gosh, I have 20 minutes. I want to go play with my kid.
Right.
So I go, hey, Kaelie, let's go for a bike ride. She's like, it's not that I don't want to hang out with you. I just want to hang out with my friends instead. Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
And Lucy lately has been, she's in that stage of saying words really funny, so she can't say regular. She says regular, like there's the L in front of the G. And so last night she was sitting at the table and she was convinced she was going to say it correctly. So she reg. And then she sat there for, good 2.5 minutes until she finally said it. And we all cheered when she got it right.
Yay! I know I love those words. And I love technology now because we get a chance to kind of record them sometimes. Mia used to say spachios for pistachios. I love that kind of fun stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Nina, that's the other thing. Oh, let me tell you this one. So we were getting into the bath. Always the best times are right before the bath. Bath time. It's so true, right? And so we're in the bath and she says, Mommy, when I'm 20, I'm going to have 16,400 is her new number, by the way. Everything is 16,400 these days. She says, Mommy, when I'm 20, I'm going to start having my babies. And I'm going to have 16,400 babies. And I want you to teach me how to have them when I'm 20.
Oh
my gosh. No.
There's a lot to unpack there. Not sure, honey. Train. Let's talk about it when you're 20. Let's kick that can down the road. Sounds good. Let's keep that between us and we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So, God, kids are so funny. I do love the joy that they bring, even though they can be tough. What are some things you do when it is hard? Like what are some things you do for yourself when it's hard? Like, You got that 20
my
magical
husband
minutes. And now I'm like,
yeah.
with your kids, I'm like, well, what are you doing for you?
Yeah, well, my husband and I are really good at being silly. And we're really good at recognizing, because he's also at home. And so we're both really good at recognizing, like, okay, this one needs to tap out, right? And so we almost have the look that we can give each other, like, oh my gosh. and that's mine. Like, and he'll usually come in and do some silly, and silly seems to really work with the kids. When stress and tension is really high, you bust out the silly bugs and the tickle bugs and what's behind your ear and all that kind of stuff, and it really seems to work with the 4-year-old. With the 10-year-old, I'm still learning. I don't know what to do with her, honestly. Half the time when she is the hormones are through the roof. And I've been reading a lot lately about 10 and 11-year-olds. But yeah, we try to get out a lot. We try to have fun. We try to be silly. We try to play ball. We try to go for bike rides. We have a school really close by and a neighborhood field that we can go up to and mess around at. So
getting out,
you just
absolutely,
you got to get out of the house. Yeah,
definitely. Especially in these times. I know, I know you mentioned something that kind of caught my attention was that, your daughter is super intelligent and in a program. Was that a hard, is she in a private school, public school? Like how did you manage that, situation, I'm going to call it at this point? Because I mean, I have a son who's got special needs as well. And, that really informed learning about all those different things, kind of helped us decide, okay, public school right now, because he's getting services and stuff, but kind of, can you share a little bit about that part of your journey?
Sure. I don't know if it's even, I don't remember taking this when I was in second grade, but there's this GATE test in second grade that they give all the children. And so we got the results back and the teacher pulled me aside and she said, I know you know that Kaelie's smart, but now you're going to get a piece of paper that certifies that she's really smart, And I was like, okay. And so she comes home with this paper and there's this number on it and identifies her as seminar, right? So there's GATE. This is how the teacher says it to me. There's GATE and then there's seminar. I'm like, well, what does that mean? I've never heard of this before. Basically, it just means she learns at a different rate. She can pick things up really quickly and move on. And she understands concepts very quickly. And how Kaelie would describe it to me is definitely in math, she would be very bored. The teacher would have to explain the concept. They'd watch a video. They'd do a couple of practices. And Kaelie's like, oh my gosh, can I just do the work already?
Right.
And so she just found herself really bored. And so you're right. I did a bunch of research. There is a Facebook group called GATE San Diego that I joined. And I, learned about this school called Hawthorne Elementary. It's on the other side of town. It takes us 30 minutes to drive her there. Woo. So 2 hours now that we're back in school, it's a 2-hour commitment every day. But it's a fantastic school. They get through the core curriculum in just a couple hours. So they have all this free time. They do fencing and Latin and choir and drama. Wow. And I mean, they have PE like almost every day, I think. They are really able to give them the whole kind of child experience. They have music. I mean, all those things that have been cut from the classrooms, unfortunately,
right.
This program is able to provide. It's largely funded through parent donations, but it is a public school. So we just had a choice into the, being out of district. But because of her score and because of the program, they were happy to let her in.
That's amazing that they have a school like that in your district.
I think it's the only one in San Diego. Now, where it was, as you said, it was it wouldn't have been such a big decision if she wasn't already at a great school. So the school that she was at is our local school, happens to be a Spanish immersion school. So she started out from TK to 3rd grade doing Spanish. And we moved her in 4th grade to an English program that was focused on seminar education. It was a very difficult decision. And because of COVID and because she wasn't on site, she hasn't really been able to acclimate to the school until 2 weeks ago when they went back to school. Now that she's back at school, she loves being there, but we've already made the decision we're going to bring her back to Gage for 5th grade because Lucy's starting kindergarten. And Kaelie really, really, really wanted to get back because when it was time to make the decision, she wasn't on site. She didn't love it yet. She wasn't connected yet.
Oh, wow.
So these are the difficult decisions of the school district, right? You have to make decisions at certain times when you don't have all of the information.
Right. Yeah, it's so hard. Honestly, the school thing, I was not prepared for how complicated and hard it can be if you have a child with different needs, right? And the fact that public schools and even some private schools, they don't have the resources available to provide what all the kids need. So it is tough. I commend you for doing the research and figuring it out and figuring out what's best for her and her learning style. And now that you know that, hopefully the transition back to the new school, the old school, that'll be the new school.
Right.
Going there. It's going to be awesome for you because that's one drop off and one pickup. Yay. Yeah. And Colleen knows all about that because she's got 3 girls. So she was everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah. For a minute. Like she was everywhere. Wow. But then, you know, I think that it inspires me to hear your story because you can do hard things. You can figure these things out and you can make changes for your children, for them. So impressed. Way to go.
Lost so many nights of sleep over it. No. Not gonna lie, it was not easy.
No, it is not easy, right? And yeah. You know, sorry.
Can I say one thing? It was one thing that was really, I think, helpful for me because as a parent, I'm constantly second guessing my decisions, right? I make a decision. I'm like, oh no, I should have done it that way. Let's go, you know, and I'm constantly wanting to revert back. I have a really hard time committing to the decision I've made. Well, in this case, Kaelie was part of the decision. And at the dinner table, we all put our hands in and we said, that's even Lucy, who's like, not, you know, she's just along for the ride. We all put our hands in and said, that's it. We're going back to Gage. That's it. We're not going to second guess it. No matter what happens, this is our committed. We're going forward. And all of that has, I think, helped me not second guess myself. Kaelie's not second guessing ourselves. We all have that commitment to just move forward. This is what we're going to do. And I think as a family, we need to do that more often, make decisions together and stick to them together. You know?
That's incredible. And I feel like that is based in how you were raised, just from what you said and how you had such a close family. And I love that idea. Yeah. I'm going to borrow that. Thank you.
Excellent point.
Thank you, Molly, for chatting with us about the bath time. Before we jump into the boardroom, let's hear what our sponsor Dope has to say.
Hold up. Cookie dough you can eat and bake? Meet Dope. It's edible, bakeable, legit cookie dough. We're dishing up nostalgia by the spoonful, delivered straight to your door. Our recipes start with just 6 all-natural ingredients, free from eggs and raw flour. With over 1,000 5-star reviews, this dough is Spoon Liquor approved. Best of all, a portion of every purchase is donated to support mental health care and addiction recovery. Unbox some happiness today. Visit dope.com, DOUGHP.com.
All right. Thank you, Dope. All right, switching gears, Molly. So we heard some bath time stories. Now we switch to the boardroom. I too am in the HR profession and would love to understand from you what made you decide to pursue a career in HR, or as we like to say, in people.
Yes, in people. I think I originally had the interest. I was working at a collection agency and I became friends with somebody who was in the HR department. I didn't even know HR was a thing. At the time I was studying psychology in college. I wanted to be a psychologist. So I think it was just kind of a natural, I found out that to be a psychologist, you had to do like 2,000 hours of internship. I was like, I don't know about that. And so I found out about HR and I just thought it was kind of a really great blend. I loved helping people. I love meeting people. I'm a very social person. And I'm very administratively strong, always kind of have had that administrative background. So it just kind of seemed like a natural blend. And I think like a lot of people, I tried it, I loved it, and here I am 22 years later.
Now, what would you say is the biggest misperception about HR?
Oh, what you said, that like that we're all the rule followers. We're actually like, I think the biggest rule breaker.
Totally. Right. I know. It is a burden we must carry.
I think
Now,
the other misconception about HR is that we all share a brain, right? So if somebody talks to somebody in HR, it's like, well, I talked to HR, but you didn't talk to me. You talked to somebody else in HR. Wow, I mean that's the other one.
yeah, no, for sure. That's funny. HR, I always talk about when I have my HR voice on or I have my people voice, and I try not to have my HR voice too often because who wants to? I mean, I always say, HR is like when people say, oh, let's have HR create a policy around that. I'm like, no, policy is one letter away from police. It's not about policing. Don't think of me as the police. Now, Molly, in your own career growth, what are some of the things that have helped you continue to stay motivated about work and be driven about work? Because you are a successful professional and you've got two impressionable children at home. Like, what are some of the things that help drive you and continue to be a great role model?
I got nothing there. I have no idea. I think I just love it. I just love HR. I love that every day is different. I love that. I don't know. You never know what you're going to get. You never know what's waiting for you. When you do a really great project, like right now, I'm working on a compensation project, and it's a tedious, arduous process. I do not want to do it. It's going to be really painful. But I know when it's done, it is going to help in so many ways. It's going to help our employees. It's going to help the managers. It's going to help the recruiters. It's going to help the owners. It's going to help the profit holders. It's going to help everybody. And knowing kind of that you have that impact, I think that's kind of what gets me going. I also really, really, really love helping people. When someone walks away and says, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thanks for taking time out of your day. It's like, this is my job. Like, I'm not taking time out of my day. You are my day. But they don't know that, right? So, but yeah, I really get a lot of satisfaction out of helping people.
Yes, that's definitely, if you can find a job where you can feel like you're adding value, it makes it all more the worthwhile being away from home. Now, speaking about being away from home, do you ever have that mommy guilt or that, I wish I had been there to do the pickup, or I wish I had been X for your kids? And if so, how have you dealt with that?
So I was at work. My husband was at home when Kaelie took her first steps. And Kaelie was her first. And to this day, I still carry that guilt, as you can see and hear in my voice, I'm sure. But luckily, his dad was also here, and his dad's a photographer, and he took a ton of pictures. And he just happened to get this moment. He just happened to be there and happened to get this moment on camera. And while it's not on video, it's on film. And so I have a couple of pictures and I look at them regularly. And then that night, my husband did take a video of her kind of walking to me. So I have that. But yeah, I regularly ask myself, why did I choose to do both? Why didn't I do one or the other? And I know why, because my mom told me since I was a tiny little thing, you can have everything you want. You can do it all. Right? So she grew up in the age of just breaking free from women's lib, right? She didn't have her first job until I think I was in 4th grade. So, she totally, powered me up to be the superwoman. And I feel like that's kind of why I've, become who I am, why I feel like I need to keep rising and keep challenging myself and keep doing better and keep it like I'll never stop. I don't think, because of that.
Do you think that that's setting it? Let me back up. I think that's setting a great example for your girls. Do you think that? I think that they're going to see that. I don't know that I have a question there. I'm sorry. Do you want to comment on that?
I think it's funny because I think because I regularly talk about how hard my day is. Kaelie has decided she doesn't think she's going to have kids. She thinks she's just going to have a career. And I said, you know what? I think that's great. You can do whatever you want. And that's what I want to instill. Not that you can do everything, but you can do whatever you want.
You have a choice. Right? You have a choice. I think that I am so with you on that, because there are so many different models and examples and structures out there. It's, infinite, and it's really more about having the choice to do what's right for you and your family. So I applaud you. I feel I have a similar story with the whole not quite the first step, but where I just would beat myself up. Like, why, I'd cry and I'd be like, why am I doing this? Why am I busting my butt? And, and then I having friends like Nina and having a support group that you can talk to about these things. I think it's important to share that, because we often think of working, quote unquote, working moms is, like tough exterior and you can't show the vulnerable side. And, thank you for sharing this story with what you just said with your daughter, because we are human. Just HR people are human too, right? We don't have all the answers. How have you learned to stop how have you learned to stop beating yourself up over the mommy guilt, or have you? How have you done that? Yeah.
I follow, I don't know if you've heard of her, Christina Kuzmich. She's on Instagram. She's one of these Instagram influencers, right? This is another thing that's like, I didn't have growing up, right?
Yeah, right.
But, so she's fantastic. I highly recommend following her. She regularly, validates the mommy guilt, it's okay to not like your kids in this moment because they did something really stupid. It's okay. Like, don't feel bad. You don't have to like them all the time. You love them. You don't have to like them all the time. You don't have to be their best friend. There's this one video of her and she goes into the closet with a tiara on and she gets a whipping cream can. She's like, like, sometimes you just need to feel like a princess with some whipping cream, like, she's real. And I think following her has helped me tremendously. I'm not going to lie, like knowing, and she has thousands and thousands of followers. She went on tour before COVID. She's got a book. I mean, she's a personality now. And, knowing that there's so many people out there that are feeling the same feelings, I think is what validates me and what gets me through it. I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm going to make mistakes. It's what I try to tell them all the time. You're going to make mistakes. Yeah. It's part of growing up. It's trying not to make the same mistakes over and over that make us grow. Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. She sounds like another Instagram profile we follow is shitty mommy moments. And if
I gotta find that one.
Yeah. It's
that brings me joy reading her, following them.
I mean, keep it real. I mean, it's not all, oh, you're glowing. No, that's just the sweat, the tears I just no, so you mentioned your girls are going back to in-person or have started going back to in-person. What advice would you give other working parents as they return to the workplace? Because that's like, that happened for me about 3 weeks ago and 3 different kids. I was like, oh, wait, I forgot how this works.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And how tiring it is carting them all over town. Right. Yeah. And not only school opened up, but all the activities opened up too. So gymnastics and soccer and softball and everything else is now opened up.
Yes.
So I do kind of feel like a taxi again, all of a sudden. And I did forget how hard and challenging that was. And I'm still at home. I'm not even back in the office yet. So I'm a little nervous. So they have tentatively announced that we're not going back to the office until after September. I'm hoping that will be better because then the children will be at school and I can go to the office. They've already announced, and I think, what I'm seeing in SHRM and a lot of with other HR networks is there's going to be a lot more flexibility going forward, which I think as employees, I think what I would say to all the employees out there is like, talk to your manager, tell them that you need flexibility. Like, look, I proved to you over the last year and a half that I'm capable of doing this. Like, there's no need to change it now, right? So I think it's just having those conversations and dialogues is going to be so important for everybody to get acclimated back.
Yeah, no, for
reasonable
sure.
accommodations.
Reasonable,
right?
yeah, that's right. Reasonable accommodations. I need one. It's so true. If there's are any bright spots of what's happened over the past year, I think the light on you can make hybrid work in terms of hybrid workplace has been one of them. And I think employers who want to keep the top talent need to make sure that they're listening for that and being accommodating about that. One final question for you before we move to rapid fire 5. What would be the best career advice that you've received or you've given to others?
Find something you love and then it doesn't feel like a job, right? Do something that you love to do.
Yes.
I think somebody told me that, and I tell that to everybody. Don't go find a job that makes the most money because it makes the most money. Find a job that you love doing, and then it won't even feel like work. And you'll just you'll make a ton of money doing it because you'll be awesome at it because you love it so much.
Yes. Right.
Good advice.
Isn't it true? Isn't that true? Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Molly. All right, Nina, I think it's time for rapid fire 5.
Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. I like this part. Okay, Molly, are you ready?
I'm a little nervous, but okay.
Okay, we'll start with an easy one. Okay, we'll start with an easy one. Beer or wine?
Beer.
Nicely done. See, you got this. Homemade food or takeout?
Homemade.
Big purse or keys and phone?
Keys and phone.
Nice.
Yes.
Uniform or free dress?
Free dress.
Agreed. Winter vacay or summer vacay?
Winter.
Really? Interesting.
Okay.
Gotta go snowboarding.
Got it.
SoCal. You're okay.
Fantastic. And my last one is private or public school?
School or pool? Did you say private or public?
School.
Oh.
Private or public? Not pool.
Public.
Public. Interesting. Cool. Thank you so much for that. I feel like there's a lot we could get into with just those questions alone.
I know, right? Actually, I did. No, so I did. Okay, I have to go back though because we did talk about beer earlier, and so you used to work for 2 brewing companies, and you made the switch out of brewing companies, out of beer. Yes. So why the switch? Was the beer too much, or I just I'm curious.
So hospitality in general is a very difficult segment to work in HR in. There's high turnover, there's high workers' comp, there's low benefits, there's low ROI to spend on the employees in the hospitality industry as a general. In the technology sector, on the other hand, there's a lot of money to invest in the employees. And as an HR person, I want platforms and programs that I can give to the employees.
Yes. There. Okay. Nice. Very, cool. Very good. Yeah. I'm sure there's all kinds of ER issues that you probably want to, not have so much of anymore, but yes.
Yeah. No more ER issues. That's the other thing. Yeah. That's a whole separate episode right there, Colleen.
No and the good news is you can still have the beer. You don't have to work for the company to have the beer.
That's so true.
You still have friends that work for the beer company. You still get the beer perks.
Nice.
Even better.
That's like a win-win.
Oh, Molly, thank you so much for being with us today. We end every episode with the pocket perspective, something that you can take away and leave with our listeners. What would be today's pocket perspective for you?
I would say be mindful of how you show up in the world, because that's what people will always remember, how you showed up. Doesn't matter where you came from, what school you went to, right? Michelle Obama was just talking about this. Doesn't matter where you came from, what school you went to, any of that kind of stuff. What matters is how you show up in the world. You be kind, you be compassionate, empathetic.
Yes, I love that. Love that.
I love that. I love her. Yes.
Yes.
I know.
So true.
So that's I'm stealing it from her and giving it to everybody from this point forward.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Michelle Obama via Molly Brooks.
Yes.
There you go. Pocket perspective I'm going to take away from today. It sounds like it doesn't compare to Michelle Obama, but I'm going to do this myself later. I'm going to crawl into my closet, put on a tiara and put whipping cream in my mouth because I can. So thank you.
I love that, Colleen. I want you to take a selfie of that and send that, Kay. We need to see that when you do that.
They show up on our Instagram.
Ooh, that could be a thing. That could be so fun. I think my pocket perspective from today was, Molly, something you said really resonated with me. And it was teaching your daughters that they have choice. They have a choice, and that whatever their choice is okay. And I like that, and I'm going to borrow that as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both so much for having me. I was so nervous about this, and I just enjoyed it so much. So thank you.
Fun.
That's my pocket perspective. I'm changing it.
Yes.
Hey, remember everything. Sometimes it's new and scary, but it turns out to be really fun. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Molly, for being part of our Moms Takeover, and to Nina for being our guest co-host. It was so great to have both of you today. And for those on listening or watching, remember to follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to Bathtime to Boardroom. And with that, it's a wrap. Until next time, remember, whether it's at bath time or in the boardroom or in the closet with a can of whipping cream, remember to cherish these moments and always make a splash. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. You got a joke? I got a joke.
Maybe. Do you want me to
go
start?
first?
Yeah,
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. So what did the invitation to the ghost party say?
Booyah? I don't know what they say.
Bring your own boo.
Oh, look, the booze is coming. Hold on. Okay. What happens when the average number of bullies goes up in a school?
When the average number of what goes up in a school?
Bullies.
I don't know. What happens?
The mean increases.
That's like a math one. That's what.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, that's like, the mean.
Okay. I have one more. Ready? Okay. What did the green grape say to the purple grape?
I don't know what.
Breathe, you idiot. Breathe.
Oh, speaking of breathing, I should go get some wine to breathe now, too. Is it noon yet?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
5 o'clock somewhere. All right, Nina.
Thank you.
Let's meet up later. All right. Thanks.
Sounds good.
Bye.